April 17, 1982 was a big day in Canadian history. It was the day Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau met with Queen Elizabeth II in Ottawa to sign the proclamation to amend the Canadian Constitution, which is the document that created Canada as a country. An amendment means to make a change, and this change was a very, very important one. For many years, groups of people fought hard to be treated equally under the law, and finally the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms could come into effect, and more than 100 years of hard-fought rights and freedoms fell under the protection of Canada's supreme law. On this date, a majority of Canada's elected representatives felt it was important to include a list of our rights and freedoms that could not be easily infringed or denied. The Charter describes important rights and freedoms that belong to all Canadians. These rights cannot be taken away by anyone, not even federal or provincial governments. The rights and freedoms described in the Charter are those that must exist in a free and democratic society. Before we can talk all about the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, we need to understand some key words. What is a right? A right is something that has been given to people in Canada by a law passed by the government. What is freedom? Freedom is the power to do something, believe something, or say something without anyone telling you you can't. Freedom is not created by law, nor is it absolute. That means if someone committed a crime that goes against Canadian law, they risk going to jail and losing their freedom. What does civil liberty mean? A civil liberty is something an individual may do without the provincial, territorial, or federal government telling them they can't. What does rule of law mean? The rule of law is a fancy way of saying that neither the government nor an individual person can act in a way that would ignore or break the law. We have laws to make sure society runs smoothly, and everyone must obey them. What is discrimination? Discrimination happens when a person is left out or singled out, is excluded, or is denied opportunities available to other members of society because of their age, race, religion, thoughts, ideas, or a difference in physical or mental abilities. Canada is a multicultural country, and our laws protect and preserve the diversity of our races, faiths, and nationalities. In Canada, even though great value is placed on civil and human rights, individual rights and freedoms are not considered absolute. We cannot be allowed to assert our own rights if doing so would take away another person's rights. If we say something mean against someone and it damages their reputation, we have denied them their rights, and that just isn't fair. We have the freedom of conscience and religion. This means that all Canadians are given the choice of what they want to believe in, such as a higher power or God. The Charter tells us that they can practice their beliefs or express their beliefs all without fear of punishment from other people or the government. So everyone has the right to believe what they want to believe and worship how they want to, even if it means that they don't believe in any religion at all. People are allowed to express themselves through speech, art, film, music, in dance and in writing, and in other ways. In 1989, the Supreme Court made clear that even ideas many people feel are wrong or with which they disagree still need charter protection. But be careful not to hurt anyone with your words or ideas. It's not okay to take advantage of a person or a group of people through hateful speech or actions. As Canadians, we have the right and freedom to gather together with people who think the same way we do, and to peacefully get together to picket or demonstrate. But if you get together and are not peaceful, you are no longer protected by this part of the Charter. In Canada, we have a democratic government, and that means we are ruled by the people. Canadians can decide if they want to be involved in how our country is run, and they can be a part of that process by running for office, which means anyone can be a part of the government. but they must be voted in by a majority of the public, regular people like you and me. The Charter says that all Canadians can vote, but you must be at least 18 years old, and you have to live in your province or territory for 6 to 12 months before you can vote for someone. If you decide to run for government and are elected, you can't be in power for more than 5 years without having another election. And you can't just decide on any rule you want. The government has to be accountable to the people and explain their actions. If they didn't, we wouldn't have a democracy. The Charter also allows Canadians to move to any province they want to. This is called mobility rights. We can live, work, and visit different places and people all over our wonderful country, and they are free to come and visit us. Everyone has the right to be secure against being searched or having their belongings taken away. This means no one can search your person, property, like your house, or belongings like your backpack, locker, or desk without a really good reason. Everyone has the right not to be randomly detained or taken to prison. That means that no one can lock you in a room without telling you why or keeping you there for a really long time. All people in Canada have the right to a fair trial in front of a judge and jury made up of ordinary people like you and me. Everyone is considered innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Equality before the law ensures every person has access to the courts. Equality under the law makes certain that the legislation applies equally to all Canadians. Section 15 came into effect on April 17, 1985, 3 full years after the rest of the Charter. This delay gave governments time to bring their laws into line with the equality rights of Section 15. This section of the Charter makes it clear that every person in Canada, regardless of their race, religion, national or ethnic origin, color, sex, age, or physical or mental disability, is to be considered equal. This means that governments must not discriminate for any of these reasons in their laws or programs. It is important to realize that these are not the only characteristics that are protected under this equality section. It is possible to claim discrimination on the basis of other characteristics not listed, such as sexual orientation or even health or allergies. It means we can't be excluded from anything for any reason. Everyone is considered equal in Canada. English and French are recognized as the 2 official languages in Canada in the Charter. These sections established that Canadians have the right to use either language when communicating with or receiving services from the federal government. But other languages are recognized as well and can be offered by government services. Section 25 is very important. It says that no other charter right may take away from or interfere with the rights of Indigenous peoples. For example, where Indigenous peoples are entitled to special benefits under the treaties, other people who do not enjoy these same benefits cannot argue that they have been denied the right to be treated equally under Section 15 of the Charter. Treaties were created a long time ago, but that doesn't mean they're no longer important. Treaties need to be honored, and the Charter of Rights and Freedoms recognizes that. Along with our rights and freedoms come responsibilities. There is much more detail in the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms than what is mentioned in this video, and it is our responsibility as Canadians to learn what they are. This is important so we can recognize if and when our rights may be denied, and so that we do not deny others their rights as well. Everyone has the responsibility to act appropriately in society. This means that you need to be careful of what you do and say and respect one another. A good rule of thumb is to treat others how you yourself want to be treated. No one wants to feel unimportant, and everyone wants to be heard. We can disagree, but it should be done in a respectful, responsible, and safe way.